Hey y'all, this is Sam Avery here, coming at you with another video on how to make change in your community today. Specifically, I'll be talking about why social media is such a crucial mobilization tool, some major and smaller grassroots movements that have utilized it to their advantage, and go over best practices for using it to spread your cause. Let's get started. Hey y'all, before we jump into the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and follow me on my socials down below. Thanks. Like I said before, social media is a crucial mobilization tool for your cause. Social media allows us to share loads of information instantaneously with people across the globe, as well as in your community. More individuals, businesses, and organizations are using social media than ever, specifically young people. Let's look at the stats. 7 in 10 adults use social media today, and out of 18 and 29-year-olds, 71% of them use Instagram and 65% of them use Snapchat. That'll be important for your cause later. I specifically mention Instagram and Snapchat because you could argue that they're some of the hotter platforms out there right now for our age group. But the main takeaway from all this is social media is needed to ensure that the most people know about your cause as possible. Next, let's break down some of the major movements across the globe that have used social media to their advantage. First, let's look at the 2010s Arab Spring. Thousands of people in Northern Africa and the Middle East took to the streets to protest against authoritarian regimes and for higher standards of living in their countries. During this time, social media was fastly spreading around the world, and these people used it to their advantage. Utilizing encrypted messaging apps such as WhatsApp and creating Facebook groups by the thousands, they were able to mobilize protests at any time of day and go undetected by authorities in the process. Next, let's look at a movement that's a little bit closer to home. From 2013 to now, the Black Lives Matter movement is arguably one of the largest protest movements in American history. The hashtag was used nearly 30 million times between 2013 and 2018. Even in the last couple of years, the tag has been used as a way to spread awareness of police brutality and protests occurring across the country. Content that has been shared using the hashtag has been disseminated on national news networks, further spreading awareness about the movement. Another unique thing about the Black Lives Matter movement is that its prevalence on social media allowed it to spread to even smaller towns across the United States, such as my own. Seen in the footage here, there are hundreds of protesters protesting in a town of only about 25,000 people. This protest was organized completely through Facebook and Instagram, and without those platforms, I don't think it would have come to fruition. Now that we've looked at how social media can take a national movement and spread it to almost every single part of the country, let's look at a movement that started right here in my town of Iowa City, Iowa. After a fraternity here at my university came under fire due to sexual assault allegations, within days, thousands of students organized via social media a protest outside of their house. All it took was a Facebook group and a couple of Instagram graphics to kickstart this movement here in Iowa City. Now, let's take a look at some of the best practices for utilizing social media in your activism and organizing. First, don't be a slacktivist. As social media activism has become more common among young people, it's become more normalized to post about specific causes that people care about. It's really easy to just repost an infographic that tells people what a cause is and why they should care about it. Chances are in this day and age, people have already heard about the cause that you care about. If they feel indifferent towards it or they feel like they don't have enough time to give, one infographic isn't going to convince them. Make sure that when you're reposting content on your story about a cause that you care about, make sure it has a specific purpose. Make sure it has a call to action of some kind or highlights a protest or event in your area promoting the cause. Next, when utilizing social media to promote your cause, make sure to reach out to people directly. All three of the protests I highlighted a couple minutes ago all have one thing in common. They utilized relational organizing. They utilized their personal network of friends, family, coworkers, cousins, you name it, to get more people behind their cause. If you're not directly communicating with people using social media, it might be a waste. If you make this personal connection, people are way more likely to care about a cause. The last best practice I'm going to tell you all about today is you need to ensure that you have sources and resources for your audience to use when they see your post. You need to make sure that you have sources accompanying your post to build credibility with your audience, and you need to make sure that you have resources for your audience to go to once they've consumed your content. This is important because if you've inspired someone to care about the cause like you do, you want them to take more action. If you repost an infographic about what's going on in Ukraine and somebody wants to donate to Ukrainian refugees fleeing to other countries, help soldiers there, etc., they need a link to do that. For example, I might link the American Red Cross, specific refugee resources for different countries, and just stuff along those lines. And that's it. Remember, you don't have to be a full-time activist or organizer to incorporate these tips into your social media use. All these things contribute to you making a difference in your community and for the causes that you care about. Again, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe down below, or hit me up on Instagram and Twitter if you have any questions for me. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.